This week on Coffin, Fodder, we've got one more reason for you to not talk to your ex as we sit down to talk about the ass-kicking potboiler suspense of Karyn Kusama's The Invitation.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
I like to dissect girls.
This is God.
We have such sights to show you.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I see dead. Red.
Even in hell. Oh, yes. Oh, no tears, please.
They're here.
Here's Johnny.
Hello and welcome to episode 64 of Coffin Fodder. I am your very suspicious guest host, Mr. Mike Worby, and I'm joined by the guy you definitely don't want following you out to car, Brady Silzer.
Sorry, that makes you sound like a sex pervert. Yes, yeah. Which I'm not.
And just to make it even awkwarder, our guest host, Dan Worby, returning from his Devil's Rejects episode, and he will be the naked girl smiling down the hall.
Hi.
Yeah, that was all I could come up with on short notice, so excuse the strangeness of the intros. Yes, and we are here to talk about Karyn Kusama's 2015 thriller, The Invitation. And what a thriller it is. Ay. I love this movie. Brady, this is your first time?
Yeah, my first. I loved it too. I thought that was a fucking badass movie.
Yeah, it's gnarly. And the reason why I was hoping, I was kind of nudging Dan to pick this one is because the reason I watched it is because he told me how awesome it was. And then I remember watching it and being like, wow, yeah, a 5-star movie, basically. Cutting a little bit into final thoughts. Surprise, motherfuckers, we all loved it.
Yeah, well, it was also, once Brady brought it up, because I watched it on Prime, and once you go to search for it, there's clearly two, and one of them's from 2022, which is obviously not by the same name. So that kind of throws a wrench into it. But then also it's a movie that, yeah, I just completely stumbled upon when it was newer in 2015 or 16. And I just watched it. I didn't even read anything about it. I just watched it. And then I was like, man, this is really good. And now it's just one of my go-tos. I've probably seen it now after watching it today. I don't know, for sure, probably about a dozen times for sure.
Wow, yeah, this is only my second time, but I was looking forward to, because I loved it the first time, and you never know if a movie's going to hit as hard the second time, but this one, I think, holds up pretty well. I think it's a really, really solid, one of the best paranoid thrillers, I think, I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like potboiler, who can we trust kind of weird situation movie. I think this is one of the best, hands down one of the best. But yeah, so this movie follows kind of a friend group reuniting. So we've got the main dude, Will. Will is played by Logan Marshall Green, which is one of the actors who I'd actually heard of before this. Michael Eastman was from Game of Thrones, and then of course John Carroll Lynch from Zodiac and 200 other movies.
Yeah. Wasn't there another actor in this movie that was also in Zodiac?
I can't say if there was, I didn't recognize them or didn't notice or whatever. But
Okay. I thought the guy who played Tommy, was he not in Zodiac as one of the first victims?
Oh, he could have. Actually, I think you might be right. Mike Doyle?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, I think you might be right. Like, I think if you're right, he's the guy who gets attacked at the beginning, survives, and then at the end confirms what's his name, suspicion or whatever.
Yeah, I believe that's who that is.
You might be right about that, actually. Good call. But yeah, so this is a movie that follows Will and
Kira.
Will and Kira have been invited to a dinner party with all of their old friend group that kind of seems to have strained a bit. Not necessarily broken, but the people who are inviting them are the...
Eden is Will's ex.
Yeah.
And they have a child together.
Or had.
Yeah. And so it just starts essentially with Will and his girl Kira there driving to the exes and for the invitation they received for a dinner party. So it seems like at one point they kind of did recognize her again, or somebody in the friend group maybe had met her previously, but others hadn't met her. It was her first intro to most of the people there.
Yeah, and it's said that it's been 2 years since anybody has heard from Eden, basically.
Yeah.
Anybody in the friend group. So however much the other people are hanging out or whatever they're doing, it's been like 2 years since anybody's really heard from this chick. And now out of nowhere, she's inviting the entire friend group to meet her new guy and have a dinner party. Yeah. And that's basically the setup for the movie.
Yeah.
I liked when Will and Kira are driving, and is it Kira driving or Will? I can't remember.
He's driving.
Yeah, she's looking at the really fancy invitation for a dinner party that they're all friends with.
Yeah.
and there's like some hidden writing on all this stuff. It's like if my friends were having a dinner party, I'd just like, hey, dinner party, not send a fancy ass invitation.
Well, it's all very strange, I think, and I think that's why you're kind of on Will's side. You're wondering, like, because it's that kind of movie where the whole, like, much of the tension is wondering, what is he right, or is he fucking losing his shit because of his trauma or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing of what this movie's doing. But yeah, there's enough weirdness going on to give him some ground to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, there is weird shit about this.
Yeah, I found the opening scene, other than it potentially being like a jump scare, kind of, I found the only part that, as I've rewatched it every time, I'm kind of just like, I don't understand the whole killing of the, like, why even hit the coyote? I don't even get it.
You know what I thought it was when you get to the end, and I believe Pruitt he bludgeons Pruitt to death.
No, he doesn't. Kira.
Oh,
kills
Kira does.
Yeah, she bludgeons him to death.
I remember him getting.
He's
bludgeoned.
choking her out. He's choking Will out, saying it'll all be over soon, and she just starts mashing him with a heavy bause or something.
I think it's the wine bottle, like the really expensive wine that.
That might be right.
Throughout the film.
Yeah, it's a guy who just kind of stood out. It seemed almost like it didn't need to be there. Other than, I guess, yeah, you could say that it shows that I don't know, because even when he gets there, they say like, oh, it's good. Like, he brings it up at the party, and they're like, oh no, it's good, you showed mercy. Yeah, that doesn't really help in the show either. So
it could be meant to be the first indication of what these people are about, even that you're supposed to catch on the second watch or something. I don't know. I didn't have a big thing for it. The only thing I could think of was that bro got bludgeoned to death. Yeah. He bludgeons the coyote at the beginning.
Right.
I don't want to jump ahead, but
because he's already going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway. We already talked about Will's kid.
Yeah.
So his kid's dead, but at his 5th birthday party, his friend hits him in the head with a baseball bat, which kills him. And so I thought that whole like bludgeoning a coyote to death was kind of a metaphor of like. Because
I did have that thought that it could be. I didn't even realize that's how his son died, though. So that makes it even more apt.
Yeah, me either. I must have missed that part. I remember most of the flashbacks, but at one point too, I was like, I forgot what happened at the birthday party.
Because they don't spell it out all that much. I think at one point they give you kind of the answer, but for most of the movie, it's vague. It's just like one of the two parents took him there and said like, oh, I never imagined that could have happened. And there's a lot of like talking around it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, whatever. Yeah, the coyote's dead. First kill of the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, now they're at the party. The main players we need to set up are David, Eden. Eden is his ex. David is her new guy. And it's clear pretty quickly that he's like a new age religious cult guy, and that she's joined for whatever he's about.
Yeah.
Whatever group he's a representative of, she has joined that group.
Right.
Yeah, there's a gay couple there, and then there's one single lady, the blonde girl is single. I don't have her name, but she's single. And then we have
Gina
is waiting for Troy, and Troy's not there yet.
Gina and Troy,
yeah, and he's always notoriously late, so they're not overly concerned. It doesn't raise any alarm bells that he's late, because they said he always is.
Yeah, so that's pretty much everybody in the friend group, I think. And then after a bit of time, Will looks down the hallway and sees a girl literally with no pants or underwear on, smiling at him from down the hall.
Yeah, like in one of the other rooms, just kind of at the doorway, and it's kind of weird. And then, yeah.
One of the many strange things that happens that makes you like, maybe he's not wrong.
I mean, and not to the same thing, I don't think it gets very far ahead, but I did the timestamp. They first say like they're in a cult, and it's literally like the 29-minute, like it's just before the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
And in an hour 40, like we're not even a third of the way in, and they've definitely made it obvious that, hey, this is a cult. Like, like it doesn't take long.
It's established very early on, and you can tell by how they're talking too.
Yeah.
They have that really like pamphlet kind of way of talking.
Yeah.
And they keep using like the terminology. Like if you've ever been to any kind of structured group meeting or, religious meeting or whatever, you'll be very familiar with this, because this is a lot of how, you go to a Christian group meeting and they'll be like, well, I was trying to be Christ-like, and nobody uses that term in day-to-day expression. So it's like one of those terms,
Yeah.
You have to be in this group to get kind of the nuance of a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, the way they speak is very religious almost in terms of, and then everything is trying to prove how accepting they are right away, and that there's so much love between them because, like I said, that doesn't take long after he sees the girl in the doorway there. All of a sudden, she comes out while Dave and Eden are still standing kind of front and middle in the living room or whatnot, and she comes out and just like now has pants on. No, she puts like her arm around them, and she's like, "Oh, so give me some of the wine too," because it's like it's super expensive, and so she introduces herself very shortly after that, and she just comes across as literally the most like stereotypical like spun out cult girl that would ever be in like most of those any of these scenarios. Like right away, she's the one where you're just like, oh, I've seen enough movies to know what this person is.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that was one of the things I noted early on because I think they're very easily, this is taking place in, I don't think they ever say it's in Laurel Canyon, but it's confirmed to be California and it's a hillside community. So I'm pretty sure it's Laurel Canyon. Laurel Canyon is where the Manson family lived.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, they lived, excuse me, that's not where they lived. They were living out at the Spawn Ranch when they pulled off the attacks. But Roman Polanski's family, who they attacked, was living in Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, well, they do say Los Angeles, and that's all I recall for.
Yeah. So I believe like especially because that's where the most notorious Hollywood story ever is the Manson murders, and it happened in that community. So I think it's meant to be Laurel Canyon there and as like a reference to that. And then the reason I brought that up is because she reminds me of the Manson girls.
Right.
If you've ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's who she reminds me of, is one of those like Dakota Fanning's character or something in that movie. Someone who just seems really, or Lena Dunham's character, somebody who seems really spun out and
and kind of the typical, almost like stringy blonde hair. It's not quite greasy, but kind of.
And very skinny.
Yeah.
Usually a very skinny person who doesn't eat much because they're all often getting high or whatever rather than eating. So yeah, that's the setup for the friend group. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the next big thing we get is the video, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a same thing. Will is in one of the rooms for whatever reason at that point. I don't know if he's discovering her pills right at that point or whatnot, but somebody screams, and so he runs back in, and it was a false alarm, and that's when we find out they're in a cult, and they're like, "Come on," they're like, "No, are you joking?" And then they go back and forth, and then yes, the film is essentially, or the little movie that is played for them right after, which isn't, I guess, a movie, it's real life.
Well, it's basically a snuff film.
Yeah.
Will's outside trying to make a phone call, and he sees Eden go into her bedroom and put something into the drawer, which gets his curiosity going, and
because he's already suspicious.
Yeah, because they say Eden's acting really weird.
She's really happy because what happened between them, around the time they broke up after their kid's death, she tried to commit suicide and he stopped her.
Well, and there is two other quick things, I guess, from that too, is that when he sees her doing that, it's because she sent him to grab firewood. That's where it was. She said he'd know where it was, so he was outside for that, saw her there, and then saw that. So then he went in there, snuck a pill to take just because he didn't know quite what it was. But he was also already like, the reason some of the other weird things that we glossed over, I guess, is he has a confrontation right away with the new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because he's locking the door all the time and he taking the key, and he's like, why are we locking the door? And he's like, oh, another couple down the way got terrorized and blah blah. He's like, pretty scary.
Reference to Laurel Canyon,
right?
To the Polanski stuff.
Yeah, and so then he's like, okay. He's like, but what if there's a fire? And then the new guy, the new boyfriend, kind of just is like, he's like, okay, and he like puts the key back in the door, and he's like, feel better. He's like, oh, we do things a little bit different here. This is my home, and it is kind of a fair point, but it is also extremely weird for that. And they say that there's new bars on the windows
because that's where
the kitchen.
He used to live with her. Now this guy lives with her there.
Yeah, and she said she was by herself for a bit, so she had the bars put on because of that.
Yeah,
and they're like fancy. They don't look like jail bars. So, and she also slaps the one dude
was
right
just
away,
about
which
to
is
bring
like
that up.
very off kilter
I can't remember exactly what he says. Something kind of smart ass.
about believing or something, and because they're talking kind of culty again.
Yeah.
And she's like, the pain can all just go away. You don't need to like have it. We can live without pain and blah blah. And he's like, oh, why didn't somebody tell me that before? And she smacks him and she's like, you're always joking about everything. She's like, that's why no one listens to you or cares what you have to say or something. And it's just like, geez, man, like
Yeah, that was pretty. And then like within like 30 seconds, he comes back out and she hands him a drink and she's like, forget it, darling. I already have.
yeah, she's like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it because I'm already over it. It's like, well, you smacked me. What the heck?
Yeah, true. I think there's when they're doing one of their speeches, one of my favorite lines in the movie that I wrote down because it made me laugh is when they're explaining the big cult belief system and whatever, and he's like, "Pack a lunch, guys."
No, that was he did that because the weird girl, Sadie, the cult girl, when she starts, they watch the film and they're like, did we just watch somebody die? Essentially, you watch the film and it is very culty. You're introduced to a bald man that is very clearly their messiah or whatnot. And so when you're watching it, he's just talking about all the cool things about being in this brotherhood or family or whatever. And then they cut to a girl that looks no older than, I think they reference her as 30, but she might be closer to 40, who knows. But she's in bed very much struggling to breathe and young and pretty. And they're all gathered around, they're filming it. They tell her to just, the pain will be over soon, just go ahead, like relax, it'll be done soon. You can join your other people that are in her family that are already deceased. It seems like her boyfriend or husband, one of her parents and whatnot. And they're told kind of like breathe it in. You can feel her spirit because she's about to go. And then it just kind of ends from there. And they're all pretty shocked because, again, this doesn't really cut timeline. So they've probably been there about, it feels like it's almost in real time that they've been there about 30 minutes and they're watching somebody die on screen like very quickly. So,
And without any warning.
right.
Like most people would like to be notified if they're just about to watch someone die on, like literally die on camera.
But there is a lot where they do that struggle back and forth because in reality, we have like the maid system here. And like you have different things where you're just kind of like, okay, well, this is a different way that they're maybe doing it. But hey, if this was a more famous religion, maybe people would barely bat an eye.
It's the thing about them filming it and showing it at a dinner party
Right.
that makes it so weird. Like the fact that, yeah, some people choose medically assisted death isn't like it happens and it can be controversial or whatever, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's the fact that most people would want to be warned if you're just going to put a movie on about it.
Well, yeah, and it's morbid and it's just getting there and you're just trying to catch up with everybody. And it already seems like you're at you're being sold something.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but then, yeah, so that's what Gina asks right away. And she says like, okay, well, what did she die from? Like, if like whatever, because like, why did she die?
Yeah, she
Like,
looks fine.
she's like, she barely looks 30. And she's like, cancer. And she's like, oh, okay. So he's like, and then that's why one of them's like, well, like one of the two gay guys was like, well, I guess then that's like kind of a nice way that they went out. And the other one's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And then that's when Will pipes up right away. He's like, just why did you show it to us?
Yeah.
Like, why did we even why do we even watch it? And then that's when they're like, we want to play a game. And then Sadie, that's where you're talking about where he's like, pack a lunch. It's because Sadie's like, I don't really know you guys, but I love you. But she doesn't even say that first. She just goes around the room and she's like, Will, Gina, so-and-so. She says everybody's name. So at about character like 6, that guy's like, well, pack a lunch, because he's like, we're still getting through all these names.
I
He's
couldn't
like,
remember what exactly what it was. I thought it was one of those things when they were explaining their religion or something.
yes.
Remember though,
This was kept going and going,
Maybe
saying the
first I'm
names,
laughing.
and then she's like, I love all of you, and blah blah blah, and then they go to the next person, and then it turns into I want to kiss. Is that Eden that goes next?
Yeah, no, it's Gina. She goes, oh, I want some of that good cocaine that you.
Oh, right,
And
which
he
is
actually
very
pulls
weird,
out cocaine
because he says he's recovering, so he doesn't drink or do drugs, but he has it there.
Yeah.
And so he's
Yeah.
got wine that he's giving out to everybody that's expensive. And then he's not doing drugs. He's recovering, but she's got the cocaine right away because he's like, no, you meant it. You weren't just joking. She's like, okay, bust that shit out then.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, whatever. So then she's doing that. And which girl,
it was Eden.
It was
Eden. That's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, she's like, she just kisses her like a big longish kiss, and same thing. They're like, okay, so another very weird thing. So now there's coke in here.
Yeah, the bigger guy. Yeah, she kisses him for a long.
No.
sensual
Somebody
kiss.
kisses Gina on the mouth before. That's why she asks for the coke. She's next. I think it might be Sadie.
I think it is Sadie. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Sadie kisses her, and then she's like, okay, it's your turn kind of thing. And then Gina asks for the coke, and then Eden goes, and yeah, she's like, I want to kiss so-and-so. I've always wanted to kiss him. And so that happens, and then it's just very weird very quickly. And so that's when the one girl right away, I think her name is Carrie. She's not in there overly long. She just says like, this is super weird for me. Like, I'm out of here. And because same thing, one of the gay guys like, I want a blowjob, and it's like it all is super weird. Like, I remember watching it and instantly being like, I would have left at this point too.
This is the horniest friend group. This is like, I was thinking the whole movie, I'm like, this friend group is like 20 minutes away from an orgy.
Yeah, because like they said,
these are horny friends.
Yeah, like
they're talking a lot about.
They quickly explain that explain away her being gone for 2 years as if they were in Mexico, and then they find like, oh, were you guys doing a lot of naked things there? And then Sadie's like, I was. She's like, well, what? She's like, yeah, we were having sex there and whatnot, like that, stuff like that. And I'm like, man, okay, this is a lot. And like, for me, it feels too immature and try-hardy for me. That same thing, I would have done exactly what that girl did. So that's why the movie resonated so much with me, is what I was saying. I talked to Brady a tiny bit about it, but it was the whole thing is just like, you've got this dynamic that keeps one of the characters continually seems to do what you would do in real life, versus so many horror movies, they don't. They do something stupid. They all split up and go into dark rooms by themselves, unarmed. And so this movie seems to always have, if it's not Will, which often it is, somebody else does something that seems normal. And that is the exact moment I would have done when she got up and said, I'm ready to leave. I'd be like, I'll walk you out because I'm gonna piece too. This is it. I'm good. I don't know. This is too weird. Sorry. I'm not here for this cult thing. I'll catch up with you guys.
Would have been nice to know about that also ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because half those invites probably would have been like, never mind.
Yeah. Either they're gonna sell me timeshares or cult.
Yeah, it's a very multi-level marketing pitch.
Yeah.
Kind of dinner party.
Yeah. And then the another brilliant part they do is same thing. So she's going to leave. They say, no, let her go. And then you're like, okay, so maybe something is normal here. Maybe we're overreacting. Some things are weird, but maybe these guys are kind of all right. And they do a great job teasing you back and forth with that. Because then when she gets up to go, she's almost gone. And then Pruitt, who we haven't really talked about.
Pruitt comes in about halfway through. We already mentioned it, but he's just kind of showing up at this time.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that Will thinks is weird. Is like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yes, but not only that, actually, Pruitt does talk before she leaves, because he delivers the fact that lost his wife by killing her when they were drunk and she was arguing, and he just says like, yeah, I turned and punched her as hard as I could, and she fell and hit her head. And as she was getting up, and he raises his one hand, and he's like, she was kind of reaching to me, and the camera just keeps panning in slowly, and there's no music or anything, and it's a very good speech, very freaky. And he's like, and then she just collapsed again, and she was gone. And so everyone's just like, okay, now there's coke. This guy murdered his wife.
Yeah, and then
we're kissing each other.
He talks about how he spent 7 years in prison for it.
Yeah,
and da 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 da.
And now he's sober.
And also he doesn't have to feel bad about it anymore.
Right.
So you're really starting to see the self-serving nature of this religion.
Yeah,
because it's like any bad thing you've ever done is okay.
Right. So so that's all happened. And then Carrie says she's gonna leave. They say, yeah, it's okay, let her go. And you're like, oh, maybe these guys are actually not terrible. It's hard to say because you're letting somebody go. So then as she's just about to leave, Pruitt's like, oh, are you in the Prius? And she's like, yeah. He's like, oh, I parked behind you. So there's always, with the four of the antagonists, members, yeah, there's always somebody kind of popping in right when you think like, oh, this might go right. And then somehow one of them interjects themselves into a certain thing. So she goes out to back up her car. He has to back up first, and he's guiding her. And Will's watching out the window. And then while Will's watching out the window, and it looks like she is, he actually moves, gets her out of there, and he's guiding her past. And then right as she's about to get out of frame, he goes, "Oh, one more thing." And he goes back around to the car window, to the driver's side. And then
when
Dave's like, "Hey, like, come chat with me for a minute, one-on-one. I need to talk to you about something." And then he confronts him right there. And he's like, "Yo, like, you're being really hostile and all this stuff." And he's like, "Now you're watching her leave like she isn't allowed to," and all this stuff, and tries the same thing, calm the storm. But we don't get to fully see that she did get to drive away.
Yeah, always so, because David steps in front while he's watching and starts confronting him about it and whatnot. So that's, it is really, it's a really perfect balance. It reminds me actually of the second movie we ever did for this show, Kyle's movie there. They Look Like People.
Oh yeah, no, I got that same vibe.
Like, it's very much that kind of movie, and it sucks that Kyle couldn't be here because this is a Kyle movie. This is what we in the Coffin Fodder crew refer to as a Kyle movies.
Yeah, but it's good. So then they go, she's apparently gone, we believe. Now they're back at it. So they're back at their weird antics, and it just kind of keeps spiraling from there.
Yeah, and this, again, cut me off if I'm missing anything big. But pretty shortly after this is before the drink scene, there is one big thing, because Troy shows up finally.
Oh, that's way far.
He's heard this message from him.
Yeah, that I would say. I guess that's not
the next big thing.
That is the next big thing. You're right, because he goes outside and he's sitting there by himself, Will, and he's like, "I'm gonna go make a phone call," and then Sadie comes out there and throws herself at him next to the pool.
Which, again, I don't know if that scene was real or not.
I couldn't tell, because you see his kid when they walk into the house in the beginning, and then you see him sitting there.
Oh, it jump cuts.
Yeah, because it jump cuts from her supposedly coming out to try and seduce him, and then there's this jump cut and he's just sitting there. So,
but either way, it is he did go out there to make the phone call. She throws himself at him, and he says, like, "No, like, I'm not interested." And she's like, "Why not?" He's like, "I don't know you." And it's like, so she's like, "You could do all these things to me," and then whatever. Then he's like, "No, I'm just going to make a phone call." And then, it cuts to one of the other friends, one of the gay guys, being like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to like make a call, get my head clear, whatever." And then he's like, "Okay, well, come back inside." And he's like, "Okay." So then he
checks the
voicemail, and the voicemail is from Troy, who said that he's actually first. He's like, "I'm the first one here." He's like, "I don't want to go all the way back down the hill to get a pastry." He's like, "Can you grab a pastry for me? Hopefully you you hear this before you guys get here." He's like, "Anyways, I'm here now and I'm first." He's like bragging because he's always late. And he's like, "All right." He's like, "Well, I'm going in right now." So now Will is armed with, okay, Troy's the first one here, and where the hell is he?
Yeah, nobody's mentioned him. We haven't seen him. Where the fuck is the first guy who got here?
Yeah. So then, you're right. Then they're essentially upstairs now, having dinner. They're all doing like small chat, and all of a sudden Will's just kind of like, "Where's Troy?"
Yeah.
And Eden's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Where's Troy?" And she's like, "He didn't make it." He's like, "Yeah, he did." He's like, I got a voicemail. He was the first one here. And then his Gina, that's his girlfriend. She's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I missed a voicemail." He's like, "I got it." And he's like, and he said that he was the first one here. So where's Troy?
Yeah, because they're establishing that they're in kind of a dead zone, which is also suspicious. Because like people have to walk around to get a signal and stuff where they're at. Like, because they're wherever they're at, it's not close enough, which again seems, I already said suspicious, but yeah. Important factor. That's why he gets the voicemail like 2 hours late.
Right. And then the other extremely important part is this is now his validation. Yeah. He's like, "This has all been super weird." And he's like, "And I'm calling it out." And he doesn't just call it out.
He calls everybody out.
Yeah. He goes in on it. That's when you said, he's like, "And who the fuck are you two?" Because like Sadie and and Pruitt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, "These are my guests," which is totally fair. He owns the home.
Yeah.
He can have other guests that aren't in the friend group. That's, like it's his place. But he's got it, and we're all on Will's side here. It's like, yeah, see, something's wrong. Troy's gone. We've seen all these other things, and you're very much on the side that Will is right, and something's eerie.
Yeah.
And he tees off on them. Like he's like and blah blah, and he's like, and we're all just pretending this is okay.
Yeah,
He's like, it's not it's not okay. He's like, we're locking the door from the inside. We've got bars, like he's like, and we're just pretending this is okay.
Yeah.
And blah blah. And so
he calls all of them out and says like, everybody's too fucking polite to say it, so I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
He's like, we all want to be so accepting and friendly or whatever. And he's like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And then what happens?
Then, of course, Troy comes walking in.
Yeah. The doorbell rings and there's Troy. And they answer it. And then that's when he looks over the balcony. Will can see the front entrance from over the balcony. And he looks down, and now his whole world's shattered because he just made an ass out of himself.
Yeah.
And his whole theory's ruined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Troy's there. And now everyone's just looking at him like, thanks. And
what's
that's really
amazing
embarrassing to his girlfriend too.
What's amazing is that Troy walks in and he doesn't know that anything's going on.
Right.
So he's just like, hey, everybody, what's up,
Sorry.
motherfuckers?
Yeah, he's like, well, his excuse was he was about to walk in, his work called.
Yeah.
And he's like, and that was a big mess. He's like, so I had to go back down because I wasn't getting good reception and blah, blah, blah. So that was the thing. And then you're just like, oh, you're like, man, maybe Will is just crazy. And like, this is still a cult, but it almost could just be a normal religion, which doesn't mean everybody's here to do cult things. They're just weirder. Like they're maybe more sexually free or something.
Perhaps they're not doing like all the greatest hits like Murder Suicide or Child Sex Bride or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they could just be
maybe they're just strange,
like Scientologists or something, like whatever. They're their own breed.
Yeah.
There's a really funny bit in the beginning of the movie where the doorbell keeps ringing and everyone's like, oh, it's Choi, but it turns out it's not every time. And then eventually when he does come in, it's like,
well, there is one other part where people rung the doorbell and he was trying to see who it was, but that was not, he wasn't interrupted at that point by one of the the antagonists. He was interrupted by Gina, and she just started talking to him when he was trying to see who. It was actually Gina. Like Gina was the one who interrupted right at the wrong moment there when Will might have seen who they were actually talking to out there. Because obviously, as we'll find out later, whoever it was more likely somebody else that is in on the plan that's unfolding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because then he comes back in and he's like, people walking looking for a party.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're like, well, they'll die of dehydration. And like, is the joke. And then they kind of slough it off. But it's just like, oh, yeah, two people just randomly
wandering through Laurel Canyon,
hoping to find a party.
Which again, that was what that community was like back in the day.
Mm.
It had like the Mamas and the Papas and all these famous actors and all these famous bands and musicians all lived in that area. And people would just walk down the street and go to each other's houses all the time and stuff. So, yeah.
When the people rang the doorbell, even though we don't see them, it reminded me a lot of Funny Games.
Yeah.
Just like the knock on the door and you were home type thing, but they don't show you who it is.
And the gaslighting from certain people in the movie going back and forth of like, oh, don't worry, everything's fine. This is all super normal.
Yeah. And they have lots of moments where they're very understanding too, when people say like, we know this is weird for you guys, but this is just who we are. And Pruitt very much enforces that stuff too. And when Will went off and then Choi showed up, there was a couple of them that still were, once Choi showed up right away, they are just all very understanding again about everything. David's like, it's okay, like blah, blah. And then you're like, damn it, now I feel bad for Will because he did all this.
And he's just saying like, I should just leave. Me and my girl.
Actually, this is the only time where he gets in his own way. He feels so terrible about it. He comes back in and asks, he goes outside for a breather. Then he comes back in and he says, can I see his room, the kid's room that's dead? Because he wants to go and see that. So he does that. And then he comes out and he's all forgiven. And he goes back outside again to sit. And that's when his girlfriend, Kira, comes out and sits with them. They have like a little argument, minor. He just says like, I don't think you can save me. I don't know what to do. She's like, well, let's just get out of here. And he's like, I can't. He's like, I need to figure this out. He's like, I don't think you can help me. And she's like, fine. Like, she's like, why are we here? So she suggested to leave and he said no. He had to get some sort of closure or something due to how he just had his outburst. So he got in his own way there because she did say, let's just leave. And yeah, he didn't. So that's when he comes back in and all is forgiven. And yeah.
Sorry, Brady, fun fact. When he goes and lays down in his kid's bed and there's all the kids' toys, like the room is never clean because they don't want to probably disgrace the memory of their child. The name on the blocks is actually the director's last name.
Oh, interesting.
I did a deep dive because
there you go.
I like this movie. So
Yeah, well, and so one more quick thing, actually. When he's in there, that's when he finds the laptop and he starts watching, and they're like, and it's the Messiah, the guy, the leader, and he's like, tonight's a very important night, and blah blah blah. So now he's more armed with the idea that this is like something is going to happen tonight. Like he sees that, and then Pruitt knocks on the door, and he's like, "Come on out." Like, let's go. Everybody's waiting for you. And so that's when he comes out. So now he's more armed with more information that gets him feeling again like, no, I'm still right. There's something wrong here. Yeah. If you want to, I don't know if you
Well, now, I mean, that basically, takes us to the climactic moment of the movie. The dinner party is ending and they're handing out wine, more of that wine.
A different, we think it's this,
Yeah.
a new bottle. Yeah.
But yes, more expensive wine is being handed out to everyone. And they're setting up for this toast. And right before they toast it, Will slaps like 6 glasses out of their hand and says, no, fuck this.
Gina is shown as the only one that's already taking a sip before the cheers. So she takes this a big gulp, and then he's like, cheers. And she's like, oh, and she stops, and then they all cheers. And then, as they're about to drink it, Will loses his mind again and goes all out because, man, if you're wrong, are you going to look like an asshole?
Yeah.
Because they just forgave you and you're doing it again. So he smashes all the drinks.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, holy shit, I hope like you're right, man. Because then right when it happens, though, Sadie loses it.
Yeah.
And she says, you're ruining everything.
You ruined it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which could still mean anything. It could still mean you ruined it because you've already done this once and you were wrong. And now you're wrecking all our drinks and our toast because you're an idiot. So
you can tell it's a bit more than that because she's basically physically attacked.
She does. Yeah. But I mean, she also, I could see somebody doing something like that when you just continually, it's like, we should have kicked you out.
Yeah.
You keep causing shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long. Then he gets into a tussle with her because she's attacking him, and he kind of pushes her out of the way. She falls and hits her head on an armoire or whatever furniture's there, a buffet, side table, whatever. And she goes down. And so now the one gentleman, one of the men from the gay couple has like a medical background. So he's looking at her and trying to figure out everything is going, and he starts doing CPR. And then one of the girls says, she's not breathing. And she's like, he's like, no, he is. He's like, she's got a pulse. And he's like, no, Gina's not. And that's the only girl that took a sip. And they look over at her and she's
foaming from the mouth
and wilting away quick. And so then you're like, oh, there it is. He was right. She was literally the only one that we saw take a sip, and now she's on her way out. So,
and that's back to the phenobarbital, which he saw her looking at earlier.
Yeah. Well, he asks the one guy, the I guess who has medical background or whatever.
Yeah.
What is this? And he knows what it is off the top of his head.
Yeah, the drug.
Yeah.
That pill. So that's why we knew he had medical experiences. Yeah, when Will took the pill, he showed it to that one man. I think his name is it Benny or something? I don't know.
I don't know. Tommy and Ben.
Tommy and
Ben. Yeah. That sounds right to me.
Something like that. Anyways, so when he shows it to him, he tells him what it is, and he's like, is it like bad? And he's like, well, anything taken in too large of a quantity can be bad. So he's like, we don't know what it is, like, or like how it's being used.
We don't know who's using it for what.
Yeah. So whatever. So once she dies though, then he's still looking after. He's tending to Sadie, and all of a sudden, boom, just like there it is, and you turn around and. Yeah, it's
David shot him.
David shot him while he was tending to Sadie. And you're just like, okay, so this was supposed to go smoothly and is not going smoothly.
This is this is a suicide cult. And it's very interesting because most people think everybody at Jonestown took the Kool-Aid, or it was actually Flavor Aid, not to split hairs. But everybody thinks that everybody just did it. There are a lot of people who didn't want to do it and they didn't have a choice. There was a militia group there. David Koresh had hired. David Koresh, or is it Jim Jones? Excuse me. Jim Jones had hired, and then they were forcing
Jim
people-
Jones.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too, Dan.
yeah, they were forcing people who didn't want to do it, to drink it. And
Right.
if they wouldn't, they would ultimately shoot them.
Yeah.
So that is like, it's a known phenomenon in some of the biggest stories like ever about cults and suicides and murders and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, it goes off the rails there, and now everything is going nuts. And Pruitt is obviously the largest man there. He's also obviously the oldest. He's a big man, so he starts quickly trying to help with offing the remaining guests that aren't in the cult.
Well, he takes the gun from David because David's kind of struggling with killing people.
Yeah,
he's like it's okay, and he takes the gun and then he just starts shooting.
Yeah, you think he's potentially, again, they do such a good job of doing the struggle back and forth that he shoots him, and then Pruitt goes to take it. He's like, it's okay. And like he's talking him off the ledge almost.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, oh, again, they're trying to give you that little glimmer of hope. Like maybe it's not, maybe it's just David and Eden, and this isn't the path. And then he takes it, and then he's like, it's okay. And then he just turns and shoots the other guy. And you're just like, oh man, like, yeah.
He's Zodi acting out the cult's plan.
Yeah, that was a reach, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Carroll Lynch, again, what makes him so formidable is that he's huge. He's a
big man.
He's like 6'6", like 300 pounds. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him like such an unsettling force. Like he looks like such a normal person, but he's huge.
Yeah.
And he's a very good actor. He's very good at selling himself as like a pretty fucked up, dangerous guy.
Well, even when he plays like not fucked up people, he still does a really good job. Like the founder, he plays one of the guys that created McDonald's, and he's just a normal everyday Joe.
Interestingly, my first time ever seeing him, he was on the Drew Carey show in the 90s as his cross-dressing brother, Steve.
Oh yeah,
That's John Carroll Lynch.
oh I didn't realize that shit.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's him.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that now you said it.
So yeah, he can just be a regular guy, like in terms of his personality and whatnot. But when he turns it on, you're like, fuck.
And that's why he doesn't have a lot of he's not too uneasy in this movie. He's just more flat, but it obviously he becomes much more eerie when he describes killing his wife, and they just do this no cut, just pan in slowly, and you're just like, okay, he's pretty creepy here, but he's not menacing.
Yeah.
He's not threatening. He's just
No, but he sure is describing his wife's death in very, very extremely vivid detail, acting it out with his hands and stuff.
yeah, that was the big moment, is when he lifts his hand. He's like, and she was trying to reach back out to me. He's like, I believe she was trying to reach back out to me, and then she just collapsed and died. And it's just like, whoa, okay, like this is, after watching the other person die and you telling us about this, good thing there is coke and kissing, I guess, because some's got to break up this funeral.
Fucking right. Anyway, yeah, that I believe now at this point we've only the three, like on the good side, I guess you would say, they're left. It's Will, Kira, and Tommy. Yeah, those are the three that have survived. Tommy is one half of that gay couple. Yeah, not the EMT guy, obviously, because he was like the first one to get shot. So
Yeah.
the one who was like joking around more throughout the night.
Yeah, so obviously the couple splits. I mean, the couple stays together and splits off from Tommy.
Yeah,
because Will's like, Kate, Kira, we gotta get out of here. So they jet and they go their own way. And he says, we want to get up to the garage because I know because he used to live there.
Yeah,
because he's like, there's a door there that I know we can get out of into the garage above it. And so they go that way, and obviously they start hearing other people coming and whatnot. No, Eden's the one that finds them first, because she shoots Will when she sees him and hits him, like he grazes him. And then instead of shooting Kira, she puts the gun to her own stomach, and she's in all white, so it's very artistic, it's very dramatic, and she shoots herself in the gut, and she dies. And then,
well, it's important to note that symbolism, though, because it's the white gown,
right,
and it looks very much like how it can look if someone has a miscarriage,
right,
which is, the main reason she wants to die is that her child is gone, and her choice to shoot herself in that spot feels like it's all part
Right.
of it.
No, that's a good point. That's how, I guess that's kind of how I saw it and just didn't allude to it.
Right.
But yeah, it's very cinematic. That triggers David to start coming to find them. And as he's come up through, he's like she shot herself, Eden shot herself, and he's no response of any sort of sadness. He says, good. He's like, now she's in a better place. He's like, that's good. So he's like, we got her gun. So he's trying to threaten that there's some sense of security there.
Yeah.
And they find out, though, I guess, that they have to go back that way because that door's no longer there. So once they get up there, he's like, where's the door?
Yeah.
And it's like, there was a door here when I lived here. And it's like, well, that was probably too much of an escape route, so they got rid of it. So the door is not there. You have to go back down. And lucky for them, that's when Tommy comes back. And he attacks David at the bottom of the stairs and stabs him in the chest. And you're like, oh, perfect. Everything is over then, because
Well, yeah, they're struggling around a lot, but yeah, Tommy gets
ultimately gets the best of them. So it's like, hey, well, they're all gone, because we find out that Sadie's pretty much offed herself because she's bleeding heavily before they go up, and that's where Will grabs the fire poker from her on the way up. He takes it from her hands and she just kind of goes. So it's like, okay, well, these guys are gone because, oh, we didn't talk about that. Pruitt's the one who comes up first, because Pruitt's the one who catches them. And once he catches them, he starts choking Will from behind, and he's like, just go. It's okay. You'll go. And then that's when his girlfriend becomes the big hero, because she just mashes him with a wine bottle, like you said.
a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, 5 or 6 times. And he's got the good part is they continually show the wound, and Pruitt starts to be like audibly, it changes from like a to like a gurgle that he's still trying to get up, and you're just like, holy crap.
That's the best kill in the movie, hands down.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, because it's like, it's like him becoming increasingly dazed, and at first he's trying to talk, and then he's just making noises, and then like you said at the end, it's just like,
yeah. So yeah, she really she has to, because he keeps starting to do like push-up form, almost trying to get back up. And so yeah, she has to put him away. So then there's that one, then Eden. So you're like, Sadie was already dead on the way up. So you're like, there's nobody left other than David. So once Tommy ends up stabbing him, it's just crazy, because those are the two you think Will's going to get all the gratification of doing all the killing. But I like that they kind of make it come out. It
feels more realistic. Yeah.
And it's nice, because then I'm like, well, who's going to kill Tommy? Because I'm so used to every movie just ending with either the good guy, the main hero, and his girlfriend getting out, or just one of the two of them.
Yeah.
It's very infrequent that 3 of them make it out, because you can sacrifice the side character.
It's usually the final girl, or the final girl and her guy, or vice versa, the final guy and the final guy and his girl. So those are the main times.
So Tommy surviving this was another
realistic. I like that too.
Yeah, it was a better twist. And they continually just did so many things like that in this show, where you're just like, man, this is better. This makes all of this more realistic than so many other horror movies that came before it.
Because a lot of the time, some stories are are so busy writing character arcs, they don't realize it's the same character arc that's in like every movie, right? The hero valiantly sacrificing himself to save either his love interest or the city or the world or whatever, like these sorts of things.
Yeah. Well, Will's already injured too. Like he got shot.
Yeah.
So, like, you think maybe he might die, but then he doesn't, or that we see.
Yeah. Well, we're left to the idea that he's likely going to be able to get tended to, and it's more of a shoulder injury than anything else.
Well, the implication is like the cops are already almost there, because that's what you're hearing right after, now that everybody's dead and they're kind of limping outside or whatever.
Yeah.
You can see the sirens coming up the hill. And you can see the lights coming up the hill, and you can hear the sirens. And then we get the ominous, brilliant fucking ending.
Before we do that, we should say, because we didn't even touch on that, when all this before all the chaos was happening, but was about to break during supper, again, that was when Will was outside, and his girlfriend Kira said, we can leave, like, let's go. And he's like, no, we can't, like, blah, blah, blah. And then he's sitting there, and he sees David come out and light this red lamp for some reason. Like, he's like, and it just, I mean, whatever. At the moment, you don't have to think too much about it, other than it is a very, very, very red lamp that he lights, and it doesn't really fit in with how beautifully structured and pristine everything in the yard and everything is. And so yeah, you're just kind of like, well, this seems notable.
I just needed to say Roxanne anyway.
Yeah.
Because anytime I say red light in a movie.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very like, otherwise why are you showing us this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're like, but I don't understand what this is. Like it's not something that you can foresee. Like I didn't know it. I'm like, this might be a foreshadow, but I have no clue what for, which is great because that makes it better.
Yeah, and then so we do get this reveal finally. Will turns and looks over the sort of like the valley of the
hill
canyon. Yeah, the hillside of the valley, whatever you want to say. And you see that there's. It's not like 100.
I counted them.
At least 12.
Yeah, it was 10 to a dozen. I paused it at that moment and did that because I wanted to try and wrap my head around same thing. Obviously, it's obviously not some thing where everyone's in on it because, I mean, obviously with the sirens, that means the police aren't in on it.
Yeah.
They're going to help, and there's like smoke coming from one little area. But yeah, it looks like there's about a dozen, which makes sense why then the people that came and knocked earlier that were looking for a party were likely saying like, everything's still going good. We're still on pace, like whatever, because yeah, that area, and it makes a lot of sense. Once it starts to do it, you're like, oh, well, I guess they could have converted that whole little area. Like,
well, and Laurel Canyon is like that. It's like the gaps, and the gaps between houses are very big.
Yeah, they're vast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute walk to your neighbor or whatever.
Right.
Kind of thing. So
Yeah.
And they're saying there's not really any cell coverage.
Yeah.
So if they're trying to make sure they're all on pace, they sent somebody at some point, a couple people would be like, go check and see if everything's still going good. And then obviously he tells them, like, yeah, we're good. Like, because same thing, even when the door originally did get knocked on, Gina said she'd go get it. And he's like, no. Pruitt's like, no, it's okay. Sit down. He's like, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And so then he goes, because it's like, well, nobody can see who's actually here.
Yeah.
And then right away he's like, David? And he calls David over, and then they deal with it. So it's like, yeah, there you go. Like it's all very orchestrated. So
yeah. I wonder if being that we don't see who's behind the other side of the door, maybe that was Dr. Joseph, like the leader of the cult. Maybe just checking on all of the
blonde, the kind of very clean cut blonde guy who seems to be their messiah guy.
Yeah. I thought he was bald, but
he's bald.
Okay,
yeah, he's bald.
I thought he had short blonde hair.
I think he's got like the
maybe on the side.
on the
Okay,
side.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a good thought that it could have been. Who knows? But it might have been. You're right. There's no reason it can't be. So it's somebody that's obviously in the cult, making sure everything's still going to plan. So. Yeah, but then once you see that all the other people had lit the red lights, it's very cool because it's an open-ended ending, but doesn't require a sequel, and ultimately never got one, which it didn't need one. So it was just a nice ending to still kind of be like, well, here's still the sad twist. We're not giving you a happy ending.
It's not the fact. It's one of those really ominous horror endings because it's like suggesting, that horrible thing you've been watching this entire time. That's actually been happening all over the place, not just here.
Yeah, and then you have to start thinking about too. Was everybody else successful?
How many
who
people
failed
tonight?
Who failed? How many people are potentially surviving right now, like us, trying to figure out where to go?
And when these cults split off, sometimes they'll have a branch in like Idaho, and they have a branch in here, and they have a branch over here, right?
Yeah.
So we don't. Yeah, that's the suggestion of the ending is who knows how many fucking people died tonight? Is that
right?
Yeah. The hills are alive with the sound of murder.
Well, and to go back to the Roxanne thing, that song ends with them just telling everybody, you don't have to put on the red light. You don't have to. He's telling all of them.
Yeah.
Everybody all over the hill.
Well, there you go. So it was probably heavily inspired by rock.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that is where
Sting was in the theater clapping.
Yeah. I'm sure that was it.
Yeah. Well, that's why the police are coming at the end.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I promise I'll stop. But Brady, since this is your first time, what do we got for your final thoughts, man?
My final thoughts. I like them. I love the movie actually. It's up there with probably one of the best picks we've done that I haven't seen.
It's fantastic.
I also like that you don't know what's real in the beginning and if everyone's crazy or if he's just crazy because he bludgeons a fucking coyote. I know you just want to put it over suffering, but
Mm-hmm.
the way he does it, just
Say you're right. That might be one of the things they were trying to create is maybe that he has something wrong with him, so you doubt him a little bit.
yeah.
I never looked at it that way, but it could be.
Well, he sees his dead son, which you don't know he's dead when when him and Kira are walking through the entrance way, and you just see a little kid, and you think, oh, maybe that's Eden and David's. But when they're reading the invitation, I thought the way they were talking in the car is like Eden was a sister, and then they show them in the bathtub together.
Oh.
Like the kid comes up, I was like, that's a weird family dynamic.
What is this, Game of Thrones? Speaking of Michael Huisman. Yeah. Yeah, you find out rather quickly, though, that, yeah, that's the son that they lost.
Badass movie. I'm definitely going to watch it a couple more times. Probably not right away. I want to keep it fresh in my mind and then think about it more. Just because it's one of those movies that you
Let it ruminate. Let it,
yeah,
let it settle.
yeah. Let the Kool-Aid kind of come together,
Yes.
as one would say.
Got to wait for it to hit all your organs.
Yeah.
Dan, what do we got, man?
Well, like I said, for me, it was at least my 10th time, but probably more. It's always been a go-to for me, along with what you guys have recently reviewed, What We Do in the Shadows, and one I was a guest for, Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. So those are like 4 very consistent movies that I frequent from my favorite list. So I watch them all the time. So it wasn't much of a surprise to me. I probably watch this movie, a couple times a year. But it's still always nice. For some reason, you still pick up on different little things. And some of them were the flashbacks that I was like, oh, and I was trying to pay more attention to them and see what I could solve more. Cause like you said, they were kind of vague for them. So I was trying to pick up a little bit more of the subtle nuances. But I mean, I don't think you need to know if I like it. I don't know how many movies you hate that you watch more than 10 times. So like it.
Yeah. I mean, we basically set it up right from the jump that we all feel pretty strongly about this movie. I think it is a straight up 5-star movie. Like there's basically nothing in this movie that I'm like, that part kind of sucks.
Yeah.
There's almost like there's barely anything to criticize. It's very tight. It's not too long.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was like, Brady's gonna start laughing.
Yeah, you're right though. I mean, it's an hour 40, so it's not too bad.
It's going pretty quick, and then at the end, it's one of those movies that you kind of have to wait through to the end, and then everything pops off in like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it does have
All the
enough.
characters
It does
are
have enough in it. It doesn't when the first few times I watched it, for some reason I thought that the reveal was later, like after the halfway point. And so this time when I was like, oh, because we're doing in anticipation of this moment of the podcast, I was like, no, I should timestamp some of these to see. And then I was like, crap, we're not even 29 minutes in.
Yeah, the cult is confirmed
So
really early on. It's
fast.
just the suicide part of it is the big hammer at the end.
Yeah. But then, and exactly like you said, there's no part that really bothers you. I was annoyed by the overly hippie sexual portions of how quick that game was going through up. And I'm like, oh, now we've got the coke, now we've got this, and I'm like, this is just a lot. And so I was very glad then to be to feel redeemed that right away the one lady is like, this is too much, I'm out of here. And I'm like, there we go. I'm like, so there is, so this even still gave me validation.
Yeah,
the
the cocaine orgy where it's like, okay, I don't know where this night's going, but this isn't what I thought I was coming to tonight.
Yeah, like it's not like exactly, it's not a thing you signed up for. I'm not saying that there's no time that people have fun. I'm just saying,
well, there's also been a snuff film in a man's description of accidentally murdering his wife.
It's a lot, and it's
at this point things are pretty heavy.
Yeah, I'm like mentally, I'd be like, I think I'm just good, you guys. Like, I'm not turned on. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, this is all very strange, and I don't want to be here anymore.
Wait, it's not an Eyes Wide Shut party?
That was almost the Eyes Wide Shut party, yeah.
Anyway, that pretty much wraps us up for our episode on Karyn Kusama's The Invitation. And now we'll be heading back to where we were already on our way to, The Sixth Sense, Kyle's pick. And we'll be seeing Dead People next week. And until then, we will see you in 7 days. And until then,
Keep your eyes open.
and we're out.